The topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
Welcome to the Fine to Fab show with Lisa Lieberman-Wang, helping women reclaim their inner peace and power, going from feeling fine to being fab, fabulous, awesome, beautiful, serving to empower you to break through the barriers that weigh you down, to live an authentic life that is healthy, happy, and free. Now, here's Lisa.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Lisa Lieberman-Wang, your trusted guide on your journey from feeling fine to being fab. The Fine to Fab show is committed to helping women break through the barriers that weigh them down to live an authentic life that is healthy, happy, and free. I hope you join the movement and be sure to be an active member of our community. You can text us by texting the keyword Fine to Fab to 90210-90210 and hit send. Follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter at Lisa Lieberman-Wang, and check out our website at www.finetofab.com, and be sure to opt in for some of the free tips to live a healthier, happier life now. I'm going to be sharing this incredible show with my guest and friend, Rosie Mercado, and I'll be introducing you to her shortly. But remember, you can be calling in and chatting with us today by calling 561-422-4365 or Skyping in at WN Radio, W4WN Radio, and you can join us live and we'll get to speak with you as well. So looking at me now, you would not know I had a long history of eating disorders, depression, therapy, medical challenges, and countless hospitalizations. And after years of spending an enormous amount of money and looking for the answers to the age-old question to what's wrong with me, I finally figured out there was nothing wrong with me. I was just living a life based on others' beliefs and opinions, not my own. It's been 20 years that I've stopped doing depression, compulsive overeating, binge eating, bulimia, and self-sabotage, and have lived a life free of internal struggle. So it all begins with a longing to be free from issues of self-sabotage. The time we spend together will be an exploration of mind, body, and soul, and we look at what keeps us from committing to the promise of ourselves. We will explore the foundation upon which we build our lives and open the direct experience of happiness and joy, living with support and developing the ability to feel emotions without acting or repressing them. What I'm going to be sharing is a phenomenal story, and I want to just give you an introduction to our guest. Miss Rosie Mercado is phenomenal, and to label her simply as a plus-size model is an understatement. Not only is she a celebrity makeup artist, she's an actress, radio personality, host, community philanthropist, a single mom of 3 beautiful children. She's also today's antithesis to models half her size and a role model for plus-size women all over the globe. Rosie spent years overcoming weight struggles because of her getting back. It's been a big break when it came to 2009. She hit the Miss Plus American pageant, winning the runway competition and being crowned Miss Nevada Plus America. She was featured in Taboo National Geographic, also on the reality show Curvy Girls in their 2nd season on Nuvo TV. She's been featured in major publications. I'm going to go on and on, but I'm going to stop in a moment. If she was not a model, she always said she'd be a fashion designer, and wait until you hear what she's doing now. Rosie is an experienced businesswoman who started out as a makeup artist but built an impressive resume and has really reached acclaimed status. And are you there, my friend Rosie?
I am, Lisa. Thank you so much for having me. Oh, my God. I listen. It's one of those moments I'm listening to your introduction, and while it's amazing, it's like a moment of like, oh, my goodness, sometimes we forget to kind of sit back and acknowledge all the things that we've done, and it's been a long journey, but it has been a fabulous one.
Oh, absolutely, and you have so much to show for it now, and I think a lot of the times, just like myself, Rosie, people see you where you are now and never even know or believe that there could have been any other part of your life other than fabulous, where there might have been trials and tribulations and things that you went through. So I would love for you to share with our listeners a bit about your background, let them know where you came from and some of the things you had to overcome to get where you are now.
I mean, I think the journey, and I think it's so correct. A lot of people come up to me and they're like, well, how is it that you got to this? It seems like you're having a fabulous journey. But I think to every journey, there's an incredible story, and there's ups and there's downs and there's emotions and there's roller coaster rides. But I think my journey began really when I really hit rock bottom with my divorce, single parent of 3, my second divorce, and I just hit a weight where, I was 400 pounds, and I thought I was like, okay, I'm okay and stuff like that. But now, looking back, there was just moments that I just was very unhappy. I was trying to fill a void. I had no sense of direction, and I was very unhappy. And that unhappiness really, it was just a roller coaster ride that took me to emotional eating, and also trying to fight against everything and everything, whatever anybody told me I'd go against. I was rebelling. And I think the biggest moment where I really understood was the moment that I wanted to spend quality time with my kids. And now I'm able to talk about it, because it would take me a while to be able to talk about this, but not being able to sit at a chair and fit in, or being worried of we were going to go to theater and not being able to fit in the chair, and wanting to go to Disneyland and get on the rides with my kids. And I think it really starts there. Also, the frustration of wanting and having the passion of modeling. I'm a plus-size model, and wanting to get into that and really want to create plus-size diversity. And, at either thing, I think it's about having self-confidence. But I think throughout the journey, it's about finding yourself, finding what makes you happy, but also understanding why you do what you do. And although there was points in my life where I was very happy, I think one of the moments was just feeling alone and not feeling like I was creating anything with my life. And I think not being on point with living my life purpose with that. So I think that's where my journey really, really began. Trying to taking over control instead of letting everything else dictate what my future was going to be. Saying, you know what, I'm going to be a plus size model. I'm going to give it my all, and I'm going to create diversity, which is something that I created. It was a lot of the imperfections that I carried along that opened along the doors, and I had to fight hard. I had to fight harder than any of the other models in there, because I had all these stories of why I couldn't do things. And I think one of the biggest things that changed it was Fine to Fab. That's really has been one of the things that has empowered me to understand, why do I do what I do?
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff too has really been, when you said even the journey from 400 pounds to where you are now, I mean, you've lost over 150 pounds. That's a person for some people, Rosie. That's huge.
Yeah.
And it's like something to celebrate, right? It's
yay! This is Elisa. Yay! You taught me to say that, because sometimes I would forget. I mean, we've talked so many times and we had several conversations. We have a great friendship, but I think it's one of those moments that you don't acknowledge, and sometimes your mind, or psychologically, you have to acknowledge that you've lost weight. Even at shoots, I've it's like, okay, you have to pose differently because you have a new body. You've lost 150 pounds. I weigh 248. I'm still on the weight loss journey. And more than anything, it's not about being thin. It's really about finding what makes me happy, and how my body's responding. It's not about fitting into anybody's, acceptance. It's about finding what my body's telling me. This is a great weight for me. I feel healthy. I'm able to focus. I could run. I could go out anywhere and not worry about where I'm going, if I'm going to fit or not. I'm able to play with my kids. I'm able to get on a bike. There's just, it's quality life. That's what it transitions to, having longevity and quality life. And, it's a yay moment for me.
Yay. So, Rosie, a lot of times people are at the point where, having hit the threshold of 400 pounds, there are so many people that have just literally given up. And, they could have even given up at 300 or 200, depending on their size. What actually had to happen for you to hit that threshold? Because like anything else, even in the book, my book, Fine to Fab, and the 7 Secrets of Overcoming Self-Sabotage, one of the first things we find is we have to acknowledge the fear and doubt. And one of the fears you talked about is acknowledging you can't fit in the theater, you can't go on rides, you can't do things. And how many times are you going to give your kids stories of why you can't, when the truth is because of choices you made that put you there. So what was the threshold that happened? And we're number 2 for the Let Secret, so usually taking inventory of life's lessons and beliefs. What beliefs did you have to change to turn around and say, okay, I'm ready to take hold. I want to be a plus-size model. I want to go do other things. There had to be a shift. There had to be a moment that you remember that something just clicked and you made that decision. Can you remember it?
Yeah, I think the moment that it clicked, Lisa, was the moment where I said, okay, I'm going after becoming a plus size model. I'm going after the entertainment industry. I'm going after acting. And I accomplished, and it feels like it got to a certain level. I became stuck. I became stuck and frustrated. And in order to get to the next level, you have to get uncomfortable. You have to create change. You have to have a game plan. You have to have a strategy, but there has to be change. You can't do the same thing over and over and say, okay, this is really it. I was getting a lot of feedback what I needed to do to get next level. And a lot of the feedback was, you need to take control of your health, not only to get better professionally, but for your kids. And I think the moment where I got frustrated and said, you know what, I don't know what I'm going to do. I feel stuck. Like, I really want to get to the next level. What is it going to take? And I think there was a moment in my life, there was a special event that I went, and you were a part of that, where someone picked me up. I literally was picked up the floor. Someone picked me up. I had never, as long as I can remember, I can never remember being picked up off a floor by a gentleman. He grabbed me and he picked me up.
Yes.
The sensation that I felt, I just started crying. I was so emotional because it was like, oh my goodness, someone can pick me up. The moment of just being pulled up, and it's like, okay, this is, this feels fantastic. This is amazing. And as many people might laugh and think, oh my God, this girl's crazy. For me, it was one of those moments of, you know what? Screw everything what everybody says. I don't care about judgments. This is my life. This is about me being happy. This is about me creating the life of my dreams. This is about me creating that dream coming true and going after my passion. And if it had to involve weight loss, and if happiness was going to come through taking control of my health and making sure that I was going to have longevity and health and adventure in my life, then it was time to create a change and say, you know what? I need to control what I put in my mouth. I need to get active, and I need to shift my life. And that was the moment that it shifted, the moment that I came to terms with that.
Well, that's incredible, because I remember that moment, and I got chills as you just said it, because I remember you had so much wrapped up with being a plus-size model, and one of my concerns was that you needed to stay at that unhealthy size because of that identity of plus-size model, not believing that you can be a healthy plus-size model, and not have to be, grossly overweight and be hurting your knees and your body and your health in so many other ways.
Well, the thing is, I think growing up, it never hit me, never really hit me with my knees hurting and just being 400 pounds. There was a moment, and I think a lot of women could relate to a moment that you're like, okay, I'm not sick, I'm healthy. But the thing is, you don't know what's going on the inside, and then there's a moment that like, okay, your sugars, your sugars going, you've become diabetic, or you have blood pressure, or you have something's going on. There's a moment that hits, and I think the understanding that I've obtained through Fighting to Fab is that these things don't happen overnight. They happen over years and years of years. And I've learned that you have to treat your body with respect and love, because this is what you have. This is what God gave you. You have to come from a place of appreciation to be able to accomplish and have quality life. And the thing is, it's not only a reflection in my life, but it's a reflection to my kids. I do not want my kids to go through the struggles that I've had. I want to be able to lift them up and give them the education that I'm obtaining right now, so they could have a higher quality of life than I've obtained.
Absolutely. And you've seen it, like even in your family, there's diabetes and other things. So you're prone to that, and realizing, diseases are years in the making. They don't happen overnight. So people will turn around and go to the doctor one day, and the doctor says, well, you have cholesterol challenges, or you have high blood pressure, and they'll say, oh, I just got diagnosed. I just got high blood pressure. You didn't just get, or you just got diagnosed. And a lot of people miss that piece where, like you said, you know, you don't know you have it, you think you're fine. And I'm going to just share my definition of fine because most people don't know what it means. And when I was going through my emotional eating and my challenges, I used to tell everybody, I'm fine, because they'd always ask, how are you doing, how are you doing? And eventually I finally said, I'm fine, I'm effed up, insecure, neurotic, and emotional, I'm fine.
I can relate to those moments.
So anytime someone says fine, or if I even say fine, people will go, which one, yours or mine? I'm like, no, I'm good, I'm fab, I'm fabulous, awesome, beautiful. And a lot of people don't know about the program that you've been doing with me, Rosie, with the Fine to Fab and the transformational program. Did you want to just give a little insight to that? Because we referenced it, but I know people just aren't aware of what it is.
Yeah, Find to Fab has been a program that, I mean, I've taken upon of really, and I've been blessed to meet you, Lisa. I really have. You've been a blessing in my life, and really being a guide and showing me the way and really answering questions that sometimes, you know, I would call you. I mean, you know, the phone calls I'd give you, you know, either crying or just like really like, what the hell's going on, Lisa? Like, what am I doing? Why is this happening? And it's like, hold on, stop asking why.
Yes.
You know, walking me through. So Find to Fab has really been a great program because, you know, it's been weeks in the making. It's transformation, but it's really transformation from within. Transformation of understanding your psychology, understanding what habits you've created, and how to change those habits and how to acknowledge them in the moment on making decisions that are going to bring quality results in the long term. And it's about really making those long steps and saying, you know what, every step that I make, it's going to be firm and it's going in the right direction, and this is the direction that I want to go in. And it's understanding your values as a person and how you see the world and how you react to everything. Because I have to admit, there's, you know, in the past I've been a huge reactor, and this has shown me to kind of step back, take a deep breath, and, you know, a moment of you know, problems come in, ups and downs come in. All right, yes, time to regroup, and how are we going to get through this? So really understanding how my emotions play such a huge role, from my weight loss journey to my career to the relationships that we make, to the connections that we develop. And it's something that emotions are such a huge part of our life. And Find to Fab has really taught me how to control them, how to understand them, and how to better make decisions, quality decisions, to have a impactful, beautiful future.
Absolutely. You know, Rosie, why don't you just share a couple of your old disempowering beliefs that you needed to work through to get you where you are today?
Okay, I'm going to tell you the biggest one that you know, it was, and you were like, Rosie, you got through it, and you were there. I mean, you're a fantastic life coach, but more than anything, it's one that I got the blessing of sharing with you. And one of them was that I kept complaining, okay, I've lost weight, and my whole point of losing weight is not to be, you know, thin. It's about being healthy, for my body. And one of the things that I kept telling you as you're coaching me is like, Lisa, you know, I'm frustrated because in order to get to the next level, I need to sign with a modeling agency and an acting agency, and they don't want to sign me because I'm not a size 16 and I'm a 22 and I still have a journey to go. So it was this story that I kept telling myself, and you helped me kind of refocus on what is. And it's about talents. It's about the journey that I'm taking. It's about the inspiration that's being created, about the people impacting. There's a bigger picture. So throughout this, I get to figure out, wow, I tell myself that story so much. And what happens as soon as I change the story and I started enjoying the journey, enjoying everything that I was doing, okay, I'm getting healthy not just to sign with an agency. I'm getting healthy for me. I'm getting healthy for my kids. There's a bigger purpose. So as soon as I change the purpose of everything, what happens? I get signed to an agency at a size 22. And they acknowledge my talents and not my size. And I said, wow, as soon as I changed my focus, being on my talents and really doing this with a purpose for not only myself, but for others, everything shifted. There was a huge shift. I started attracting what I wanted so much. And it just seemed like from one day to another, it was one of those moments that I said, Lisa, I can't believe this just happened. I just signed with an agency.
Yeah, I remember when you called me, you said, oh, you're the first call. I can't believe it. And I said, I believe it. And I think the irony about it is that had you not actually cleared the windshield and made it so you can see, those opportunities could have been there before, but you would never have noticed them because all you can see was what wasn't going to happen, what was wrong. what wasn't
Well,
right, and that's where it came from.
Well, and I think a lot as women, I mean, we're emotional. We're emotional women. I think a lot what happens is that sometimes with emotions, depression, frustrations, kids, career, when you don't find that balance and you also don't make that time for yourself of coming from, and something that you've taught me, take a deep breath, go into your heart and just think of everything that you're grateful. If you don't take that time during a busy schedule, because women, we are multitaskers. We are powerful women. We are doing 5 things at a time. And if you don't take that time for yourself and come from that place of appreciation and gratitude, everything becomes overwhelming. And then you just start focusing on the negative. This isn't happening. You start complaining. And the more you complain, the more you focus and the bigger those issues get. And the more of that kind of stuff that attracts into your life, instead of saying, okay, let me take a deep breath. I'm appreciative for a roof over my head, for the food that I have, for the work that I have, for the people in my life, for my kids. And it's like, wow, life isn't that bad. I'm actually doing pretty good. I got great friends and I have loving people and people that support me and believe in me. And it's like, hold on, let me shift that. Why am I complaining? Let's turn that around. I got to find a solution now.
Right. And it's easy to find what we don't have. I think sometimes for people, it's harder to see what we do. Just by nature, we always see what's wrong, right? It's like, well, I'm not skinny enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not smart enough. Instead of saying what's great, like I'm already fabulous, awesome, I'm beautiful, I'm a great mom, I'm a great provider, I'm a great support, I'm a great friend. It's all those things is what we don't say. And those are the things I think we need to tell ourselves more of, as well as coming from a place of gratitude. All these things are unbelievably important. And I know that some of your transformation has definitely rubbed off on your daughter, and I was real excited about that. So you want to share some of the things that happened as you started making changes? What happened, Isabella?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think some of the biggest changes and some of the most meaningful changes are the confidence that she's obtaining. She's understanding, at 13, she's understanding who she wants to become and who she wants to be in the future. And the biggest thing I think is that she's going through weight loss herself. I mean, she's now on her own, instead of me saying, baby, don't eat this. Is this really serving your body? And getting frustrated at me because everything that mom says, it creates frustration. You know how kids are.
Do the opposite. You got to do the opposite.
They want to rebel. They're like, oh, you say no, I say yes. I was like, all right, how are we going to deal with this? Being a mirror to my daughter, being someone who's living a life that's passionate and living a life that I'm going after my dreams. And more than anything, all right, hold on. Am I going to sit down to eat to build a connection with her? Are we going to go out to dinner just so we can spend time? Or are we going to go out and have fun and go golf, or go play mini golf or go to the arcade or something to create a connection? And I think she's starting to understand that everything doesn't revolve around food. And our connection, our relationship has developed so much better because, it's coming from a place of love and friendship and a place of understanding. And she sees me taking the actions for myself. And that's the biggest thing. She sees mom doing it. She doesn't see mom telling her to do it, but she sees mom doing, what's making her happy, but also she's seen the transformation, and that's inspired her to do the same thing. So Find to Fab has helped me so many ways that, as I said, it's educated me where I'm able to educate my kids as well and inspire them.
I think a lot of times what we say is, do as I say, not as I do, but we're all creatures of habits, and whether we want to admit it or not, our family, our children, the next generation, that's a really important thing to me, as I know it is to you, is that to be a role model and to be an example in the thing of what's possible, not what's not. And when we tell somebody to do something and we're not being true to ourselves, it's incongruent. It's not being authentic. And kids know the difference. They're really smart. We don't give them enough credit. And I think that a big part of it is you literally taking hold and saying, I'm worth it and I want to take care of me, is just an awesome role model for her.
Yeah, and I think sometimes as for the people that are listening, single parents, when because I'm a single mom of 3 beautiful kids. I have Valentino, Isabella, and Alex, and 5, 6, and 12. No, well, now 13. She just had her birthday. Being a career-driven woman, going after my dreams, having ups and downs, on top of it, traveling, and then finding that balance with my kids. It's all possible. It really needs organization and really big teamwork. But sometimes we get to a point of frustration that we just let our emotions drive every single decision that makes us. And sometimes it's not really helping us. And we have to sit back and acknowledge what we're doing and say, okay, I really need to think about what's going to make me happy. I need to find fulfillment in what I do. I need to find purpose in what I do, because if me, Rosie, as a single parent is happy, if I'm happy, my kids are going to see that and they're going to be happier. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I felt, because I sometimes I would feel, I feel like I wasn't living life on purpose. I didn't feel fulfilled. I didn't feel passionate about life. And I think once I started finding myself in what I loved, not only am I happy and I'm passionate, but I'm a better person because of that. And my kids get to see my best face forward, and they get to see the accomplishments, but they also get to see me taking care of me. And therefore, because I'm taking care of me and I'm creating longevity and quality life, I'm going to be there longer for my kids, and I'm going to be able to have magical moments with them.
Now, I'm sure people are thinking, with all this that you're doing between the modeling and the actress and the fashion, now we're going to talk about later about the new fashion line that you were able to launch, and being on Curvy Girls second season, congratulations, and all the other stuff that's going on. It's like, how do you manage your time? What is it that you need to do to be able to take care of you, but also be present for the kids and then be able to pursue your career?
And this is something that you taught me, Lisa, because when I first met you, I was running on total chaos and 2 hours of sleep. I mean, you remember when you met me, I was on 2 hours of sleep. I was pulling left and right, and I was like, my goodness, Lisa, I don't know. I'm going crazy. I don't know. I'm doing it. I'm living the life. I'm doing this, but I'm tired.
You're running out of gas.
Yeah, I'm running out of gas, and it was so crazy that I was running out of gas that it actually, I ended up going into the hospital for exhaustion and doing that. And that was a wake-up call for me. And when you talked to me, you told me, Rosie, you could do everything that you want, but organization is key. And what do you have to do? What are your passions? What are you going to go after? And I think what I learned throughout this journey is that you have to have teamwork. You have to have people taking care of the things that you don't have time to take care of. So you could be able to divide your time on things that you're passionate about and your family, because family comes first. Without family, my goodness, if my kids don't have me there, then what kind of mother am I going to be? So my biggest thing is really getting down and having great support, having people take care of some of the businesses that I have. And that's something that, to be able to release that responsibility, because I was a control freak, was something huge for me. That was huge for me. I was like, Lisa, I can't do that. And my biggest thing was trust. I had a big issue around trust. But I think when you learn to trust and you let go of that and say, you know what? Either I'm going to kill myself doing all these things, or I'm going to have a beautiful life incorporating other people to be part of my journey and make it a win-win situation where I'm following my dreams, but at the same time, mom is completely successful, present, healthy, awake, and energized to spend quality time with my kids.
Yeah, and I think a big word there is present. How many times do we try to multitask and we're doing all these things at once, but we're nowhere? In other words, it's like the kids are trying to get your attention, and you're trying to do this and this, and they're all running around and crazy, and you're thinking they really need to be settled in, but yet all they really want is a hug, or really what they want is just you to be present for a moment. Instead, they'll spend hours in ruckus because they're trying to get your attention. Instead, you can just give them that moment. I think that presence is important.
Presence is important because I think as a single mom, and this goes to all the single moms that are working out there, that are working and work 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week to really keep a roof over their head. They're really like pushing forward for their kids. Their drive is their kids to be able to be the providers and stuff like that. But I think there was a moment that also came that I'm doing all this stuff, and okay, you know what? I'm taking the kids out, but I'm taking the kids out either, to go to the park and they're playing, but was I really there? I'm on the phone doing emails on my computer, and I'm like, okay, I'm here and the kids are playing and stuff like that, but I wasn't really there. What they were asking for was quality time, right, attention. And I think you hit that, and that's so, so important, because then the overwhelmness, the frustration, the lack of peacefulness in your life, the unease that comes with that really comes from that you don't feel like there's fulfillment there, and your kids don't feel fulfilled, and that'll create something that's not only unsuccessful but unhappiness for your kids. So I think being present is key in everything that you do, especially when it comes to your kids. It's not about spending 6 hours with them. If you spend 1 hour of quality time with them a day, I mean, they go to school and you really have that quality time and ask them questions. What are you doing? Get involved. You make their passions your passions. You get to do everything that you want to do, but at the same time, you're taking care of being a parent. And it's all about, you could be there 8 hours a day, but are you really there?
Yeah, and on that note about being there, we're going to take a break, and we want everybody to stay tuned because there's so much more we're going to be sharing with our Rosie. You can text us the keyword FIND to FAB at 90210. We always have a giveaway at the end of every show, so be sure to follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter at Lisa Lieberman-Wang. And remember, you can be calling in at 561-422-4365. or Skype in at W4WN Radio, and we will be right back after this break.
Now that I have your attention, ladies, when you need help breaking through the barriers that weigh you down, turning to food is not going to help, and starving yourself along with ongoing feelings of helplessness and frustration will not help either. The cycle of self-sabotage, disordered eating, and stinking thinking has to stop, and there is no better way than with other smart, business-savvy women like you who are making the change with best-selling author, licensed master NLP practitioner, and trusted guide, Lisa Lieberman-Wang of Find2Fab.com. Lisa will help you get that breakthrough you've been waiting for. Go to Find2Fabshow.com right now for all the details of the life-changing 10-week transformational program and the special listeners promotion. It's time to turn your life from feeling fine to being fab. Fabulous, awesome, beautiful. Go to Find2Fabshow.com now.
All my life, people told me no. They said I was too big. I wasn't the right look. I was Latina and a mom of 3 kids. But something inside me kept me going. Fuerza. It was my strength, and there was only possibility. What opened the doors when people closed them in my face. Find yours. Find your fuerza. And never, ever let life tell you no.
Welcome back. I'm Lisa Lieberman-Wang, and I have Rosie Mercado with me, and we've just been speaking about part of the journey, and it's only part because we still know we have a lifetime to go of where Rosie came from and where she's going, and we were sharing, Rosie, some of the things that you had to overcome and the beliefs that were disempowering for you, and obviously the role model that you've become for your children. Let's talk about some of the things that, in making those changes, you always have a journey where we stay someplace for a reason, and then we find that as we're making changes, there might be some obstacles we didn't expect. And it could be even family or other people, well-meaning people, telling us, oh, you're okay, or you don't have to worry about that, and things like that you might have to overcome. So why don't you share some of those things that ended up happening as you started this whole journey for yourself and made the decision to pursue something different than what everybody wanted, and also change the status of how you were living in your health?
I think I realized, one of the biggest changes is going into an industry where it's so criticized and it's all about body image and dealing with closed doors and open doors and people. I constantly got beat up. Constantly people were telling me, you cannot do this. You can't do this. It's a no. Get it through your head. You're not going to accomplish this. And I would sit back, and there's moments that I would cry, and there's moments that I said, you know what, I'm pushing forward. I don't care what anybody thinks. This is my dream. This is my life. I'm pushing forward. Something has to give. And I think what I understood was that with that, I was holding a lot of my weight through emotion. I was I started understanding, okay, well, what's the biggest obstacle? It's my weight. But why is it my weight? What is it that people are, I'm getting so much criticism on that. Okay, how can I turn that around and say, let the emotions aside, let the anger, let the resentment, leave all that aside. What is the true message behind this? What is going to create success? And the success was going to come in the moment that I decided, you know what? I've given control to everything, every other circumstance. I gave control to my ex-husband. I gave control to every situation, everything that I was told no. There was a moment that I believed it, and I started falling into it, and it was just a vicious circle that brought me to negative consequences. And getting out of hand with my weight up to 400 pounds was one of them, because a lot of the stuff that I didn't know how to deal with my emotions, I became an emotional eater, and I did not recognize that. It wasn't until I started asking quality questions, I started understanding, okay, I would get frustrated, I'd go eat. I felt unhappy or alone, I would go eat. I felt rejected, I would go eat. And in turn, that was not only closing the doors to the opportunities that I wanted to create, but the health that I was going to create for the future wasn't going to be there, and I was not going to have quality life. So having that fear and not knowing how to deal with it was something huge. It was in the moment that I understand, okay, you know, what you eat is for you to have the energy to keep going, not so much to fill the void. What am I trying to fill? Why am I lonely? Well, I'm lonely because I don't have the relationships that I want. Why am I unhappy and I don't have the success that I want? Well, because I'm not taking control of the actions that I'm taking, from the moment that I pick up food and eat to the decisions of the people that I hang around with and to the people that inspire me and what's really moving me forward. And I think emotional eating was such a huge part of it that it wasn't until about, I think, a year ago that I realized that I was an emotional eater, and I would not come to terms with that. Being plus size, there's nothing wrong with being plus size, but it's about being healthy. It's about being a healthy plus size model for me. It's about making sure that each food that I pick up, I understand, is this going to serve my body? Is this going to give the energy to keep on going? Is this going to give me the mental focus that I need? Is this really going to give me the satisfaction of saying that, you know what, today I did everything that I had to do to make sure that I took care of Rosie, because the final outcome is I'm going to reach the success. I'm going to reach my dreams. And on top of it, I'm going to be there for my kids. And as I get older, I'm going to have quality, energetic, adventurous, passionate life with loving people around me. And there's nothing that you could change.
Absolutely. And one of the things that we talked about, too, is, you know, even while you're doing the journey and everything, sometimes family, well-meaning family, will turn around. And obviously, I know that cultural, meaning the foods that you eat, there are some things I know you love. And it wasn't that you had to say no, but I remember we were talking about the connection you had. It wasn't so much the food as much as you wanted to be part and like everybody else and join them.
Oh my goodness, Lisa, you know, okay, so being Latina, I am proud to be Latina, I'm proud to be Mexican. And I mean, in each culture, there's just foods. If you're Italian, you got the pastas and the cheeses. If you're Mexican, you got tortillas, you have enchiladas, you have cheeses and creams and everything that you could think of that goes on there that really doesn't serve your body. Although it is delicious. I am the first one to say that I love me great Mexican food. But the thing is, you can eat everything that you want. But it's knowing how much you can eat and knowing when you allow yourself to eat and why you're eating it. And a lot of the stuff that I was doing is because I wanted to create connection. We'd go to parties. There was always food there and everybody was eating. Well, come on, Rosie, you got to eat. You got to eat with us. And because everybody's eating and you want to talk, you want to feel connected, you want to feel odd not eating, and you don't want to be rude, I would join in. There's a birthday party, join in and eat. If everybody's sitting at the table, they brought food, whether I was hungry or not, I would sit down and eat. And I think what I understood that I don't need the food to create a connection. I need quality time to create the connection.
Right.
I need to be present in that moment. And I learned that. And it wasn't until about a year ago that not even a year ago, about 6 months ago that I understood about that it just really clicked.
Yeah, and a lot of us use food for that reason. And family wants to stay connected. And as much as we start doing better for ourselves, there's another reality sometimes for families. Like, if you're taking care of yourself and you're making better choices, sometimes family has to look at themselves and go, oh, man, I'm not doing that. And it's easier to get you to join in and make poor choices than it is for them to make change, because not everybody wants to see us change. As much as they want to see us change, it means if you're changing, they might have to.
Well, not only that, I think also, I think, with everything that I've done with Curvy Girls and season 2's coming up, and having that choice whether I was what am I going to do? Am I really going to go weight loss? And what's the right reason for it? Finding the understanding why you're doing what you're doing is key. It's key to success, because if you don't have the understanding, it's easy to give up, it's easy to quit, and also it's easy to get comfortable and saying, oh, okay, well, I lost a little bit of weight and I'm okay, it's fine. but really understanding what is the end result that you want to create. What's the landscape of the future of your life? And understanding that I want to create connections based off of genuine quality time and not based off of food, because it's not serving them and it's not serving me. And understanding that I want to be healthy, and understanding that, you know what, sometimes you got to let that go and be an inspiration to other people around you. And thankfully, that's something that's rubbed off to my family and say, hold on, we don't have to eat right now. Are you guys really hungry? No, we're not hungry. Then why are we eating? Right. I mean, to really asking those questions and having them acknowledge that, well, you know what, let's sit outside. Let's sit outside and let's look at the sunset. Let's chat. You know, what's going on in your life? That's different, because you're engaging and finding out about that person, and you're really sharing that time.
And there's so many ways to fill ourselves up. And by nature, you know, when you're needing something, when you were an infant, the first thing you cried, you looked for something, we were fed. So we're used to feeding ourselves for needs. And when you think about it, is we're really looking to fill ourselves. And there's so many other things that can fill you other than food. It could be with your eyes, with your heart. You can fill a lot of different needs that way. And that's a big part of what we miss. Like, you know, somebody will be sitting there, and I remember you even saying to me, you kept saying, you're not emotional eaters. So I'm actually impressed that you're saying that you are and acknowledge. But we'll say that you were, because you're not anymore, and we don't want to attach that to you.
Yeah, no. And I'm thankful, because it was through your coaching, Lisa, really. And I got to thank you and really applaud you on everything that you've accomplished, because you're a woman with a purpose. You're driven. You're really out there to help people, and you have the right in your heart. You have your heart in the right place. And it was through really taking the time to sit down, you know, phone calls where I'm crying and trying to understand what's going on and dealing with the frustration, that you were really there to be a guide, and coming from a loving place and saying, look, you know, asking the right questions, and so I could have the time to answer them and really have my aha moments. So I could say I was an emotional eater. Now I could tell you, you know, you've got my phone calls, Lisa, I didn't eat this, and I understand. And I'm standing in front of the pantry thinking, am I really hungry, or am I bored? And then I'm like, holy crap, I'm bored. What am I doing? All right, I gotta start doing something. It's like a yay moment. It's like, woo! I'm really rewiring myself. That's what it comes down to, rewiring my psychology.
Yeah, and you know, and a lot of people don't understand why you and I get excited, but one of the things I always believe is that we need to find any reason at all to celebrate. So if the celebration is that you just chose to close the cabinet, that's a yay. If the celebration was that you got upset about something and you didn't eat, then that's a yay. There's so many reasons to celebrate, and I'm always yaying everybody, because I think that we need more of those. We can find plenty of reasons to beat ourselves up, but we need to find more reasons to applaud ourselves. You know, Rosie, when you look at things right now and where you are, because there's just so many things coming, and I'm excited that I'm going to be on Curvy Girls with you this year, so I'm pretty excited that we're going to be airing together on the TV show. And there's other stuff that's coming up with you. I know one of your things you said in one of the articles I read about you, it said if it wasn't that you were going to be a plus-size model or a makeup artist, you would be in the fashion industry. You'd be a fashion designer. So I want you to just give us a little bit of an idea about what you've been doing and where it's bringing you to do that right now.
I mean, it's been an amazing journey. Curvy Girl season 2 on Nuvo TV is coming up, and I also have, you know, that's wonderful. And for those of you that don't know what Curvy Girls is, it's a reality show on Nuvo TV that really is following the life of 5 plus-size models in the industry, following our journey, everything that happens in our life, everything that we deal with in the plus-size modeling industry as friends, and just it gives you a little insight to our world. And that's been a fantastic journey. Because, I mean, not only have I lost weight through that journey, I've met incredible people. I've created wonderful opportunities, and I've got to work with people like you, Lisa, on coaching me and really creating inspiration, because I got down to my mission statement and understanding that I want to live a life full of passion and create inspiration for me and for others, and understanding where my life is and staying true to my values along the way has been something that's been enormous. So, you know, that's been something that's come up that's been wonderful, being able to be part of Curvy Girl season 2 and having the opportunity to live that dream, because I always wanted to be part of the entertainment industry, and not so much just because, you know, a lot of people get in it for the wrong reasons, but for me it's about leaving inspiration behind and being able to show plus size women that when you work hard enough and you have a clear vision of where you're going, you know, the impossible is possible. You just have to have faith, strength, determination, and understand why you do what you do and have a great team behind you. You know, from there, I have a blog coming up as well. It's called Dear Rosie, and that will be at Dear Rosie at My Nouveau TV, where people can reach out to me, and that's wonderful because that's my vehicle to be able to voice my opinions, connect with people, and kind of do what you're doing as well, guide people in everything that I've learned throughout my journey. It's my way of paying it forward. So they can check Dear Rosie at mynouveautv.com, and that's going to be my blog where I'm doing videos and I'm answering people's questions on anything from fashion to career to life to love. Just different things that are going on, and that's been fantastic. Acting has been phenomenal. You know that I'm passionate about acting, and
yes,
and you know my story, what my story was before. It's like, you know what, I'm a plus size girl, and I'm never gonna make it because I'm plus size. That was my story, and now it's like, you know what, I am who I am, and I'm passionate, and I love comedic and drama and just everything that comes along with it, and doing improv and stuff like that. So it's been wonderful because I've gotten a lot more opportunities in connecting with great people who are opening the doors to that, to my dreams. And that was because I shifted my thoughts and I changed my story.
Yeah, and that's a big part of it. The story is what keeps most of us where we are, and to have something as a vision for where we want to go makes the difference. Most people literally stay stuck because they're stuck with what is and they have nothing to move forward to. And you did have this big vision, and it got even bigger, and I'm so excited for you because it just doesn't stop, which I love. So tell us where it is right now, because I know one of the dreams is coming true, and it's like about to be unveiled, and I'm excited that I think we have the first opportunity to tell people, right?
Yeah, we have. I've been so throughout the journey. Especially starting my journey about 3 years ago, I went to a company called Sealed with a Kiss, and they're out in LA, and I went in as a plus size model, knocking on their doors, knocking, and it not once, not twice, not three times, and I was able to connect with a young lady there called Sarah Sapora, amazing, brilliant businesswoman there, and she wears many hats at that company. And you know, when I went to the company, they weren't quite ready. They were shifting everything in their company and rebranding. They're just doing a whole bunch of things. And with that, what happened is that, you know, I kept knocking on the doors. I kept popping up, and she's like, "I'm not ready for you yet." But she would never tell me no completely. She would just tell me, you know, we're not ready for you yet. You know, give us some time. We're really working on changing a lot of things here at the company. And I was so driven that I kept knocking on those doors. And from there, you know, we connected out in New York, and we connected at other places. And, you know, I get an email saying, you know, I need to talk to you. I want to have a meeting with you. And, you know, you've been so persistent. She got to see my transition, my entire journey. And from there we connected, and she says, you know what, our company is looking to join forces, and, you know, we would love to work with you in collaborating a collection, a 5-piece collection, and we want you to join in and become a guest designer here and collaborate with us in creating this. What is it that you want to do, and what is it that you want to create? And I've worked with her. I mean, we have worked endless hours on this collection. So that dream of being able to create a collection for plus size women and dressing them for success and giving them inspiration to go after their dreams and really leaving my imprint on this world, of leaving, not only doing something that I love, but being able to pay it forward and create purpose with that has been wonderful. Fuerza is the name of the line. That it's Rosie Mercado for Swag Designs, and it's called Fuerza, which in Spanish, because I'm Latina and proud, means strength. And it's about finding your strength in everything that you do and not giving up. Regardless of diversity, regardless of what people think, of rejection, regardless of what your story may be now, to find that strength and dress for success, but find that strength and go after your dreams, looking beautiful, looking fabulous, and staying driven and passionate.
And you know what? And we all need to follow our dreams and, like you said, dress for success. And I know you have that flair. So without a doubt, I'm excited to see the line as they'll be launched. And you can follow Rosie at also rosiemercado.com. And she's on Facebook. She's on Twitter at Miss Bellissima. So you'll find her all over. Be sure to connect with her. I want to thank you, Rosie, for being here and being a phenomenal guest. I also want to, I think we might be having a call-in caller right now, but being we have only a minute and we need to wrap up everything, we're going to have to go right to finishing up and making sure everybody can connect with us. If you were to give us a 10-second thing of what you want everybody to know and give to them, what would it be?
God, what I would do, what I would say really quickly is stay inspired, stay driven. Make sure that the 5 people that are around you are people that are achieving success, that are coming from a place of love. Understand your values. Never give up. Fight for your dreams and always ask quality questions and pay it forward. Live a life full of purpose and make sure that you understand that you are fabulous and you deserve the life of your dreams.
Awesome. And from fine to fab, we all can go from feeling fine to being fab. Join us at www.finetofab.com. Meet with us every week, Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 noon Pacific Time. And be sure to text us at 90210. The keyword is Fine to Fab. Connect with me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter at Lisa Lieberman-Wang. And I will be posting on the website the winner who will be getting a free consultation from today's call with me, and I look forward to seeing you all and hearing from you at our next call. I love you, Rosie. Thank you for being part of this. Until next time, be fab, fabulous, awesome, beautiful.
Thank you so much for having me, Lisa.
All my life, people told me no. They said I was too big. I wasn't the right look. I was Latina and a mom of 3 kids. But something inside me kept me going. Fuerza. It was my strength, and there was only possibility. What opened the door when people closed them in my face. Find yours. Find your fuerza. And never, ever let life tell you no.
Hey there, this is your life talking to you. Yes, I know it's unusual. You think that you are just living your life, but now here I am. I just had to speak up if you and I are going to have the best. Yes, you've had some success with me, but you know things could be better. I know how tough it's been to fight depression and the habits that lead you to self-sabotage and disordered eating. I applaud you for all the professional and self-help remedies that you have tried so far. But let's face it, they haven't worked. But it's not your fault. I know. I was there, remember? It's time that you listen to me for a change. I want you to go to www.findtofabshow.com and find out how best-selling author Lisa Lieberman-Wang can make me, your life, fabulous. Right now, Lisa is offering a 10-week transformational program for us. Mention the show and we'll get a really great discount. Hey, I'd go online and do it for us, but I don't have any fingers. So go ahead and go to www.findtofabshow.com and let's make the changes we need today so we can have a better tomorrow.
When I see your face